Charles Campbell, hoopdfw.com. I'm here with Grand Prairie head coach Baron Brown.
How you doing today?
Summer Pride workout series.
Summer Pride workout.
This is the second day of summer. Walk us through, you guys program. I mean, overall for the district, I noticed everybody's in here, all the sports.
Yes.
But then you break off into kind of some individual.
Yeah. I mean, just the basic thing is, everybody come together as a unit. We all come in at 8 o'clock. The kids do a little stretching, do work out with the football coach. We have a strength and conditioning coach on campus.
Okay.
So it works out pretty well. And the kids come in, they go from 8 to 10, go hard, lift weights, doing all kind of stuff, man. It's beautiful.
And talking to Coach Hurd, he was telling me it's a free program. You don't have to pay anything. Kids get breakfast, they get lunch.
Yeah.
There's really no reason for you not to be in the gym in the summertime.
That's right. I mean, but we get a lot of kids sitting on that couch. They didn't want to get off the couch and come up here one day, and it's tough.
Yeah.
But hopefully, the kids see it. It's something they can improve on or whatever. But man, we just steady growing over here.
You guys ended the season really well. The season really well. Kind of had some rough patches in the middle and kind of the beginning. But talk about your growth as a team.
I always talk to the kids in phases. Phase one obviously is preseason. Now our biggest thing is to get to district, win in district, get to the playoffs, the third phase. So we always try to play it like that. I mean, yeah, it matters what you do in the preseason, but it doesn't matter as much as what you do in district, because if you don't win in district, you don't have to play. So that's my thing, just to continue to get better throughout the season.
Yeah.
Stay positive.
You got some returners coming back. You got Steven coming back, but you also got some new pieces that aren't here today.
Yes.
That may take you guys over the top. Talk about it a little bit.
Man, this is probably the first time I've been this confident going into the season about the kids. I think we really got a chance to make some noise. We got a lot of young kids and a lot of older kids, but we got size, we got good guard play. I think this will be a good season for us.
Yeah. So you played at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Dallas legend. I mean, people don't really realize. I hope these kids really understand who you are to them, who you are in the game of basketball in Dallas, but who you are to them. Kind of going through the workouts, taking them through the stuff like we talked about. That's kind of boring to them. It's boring to them.
It is.
Not to real hoopers. It's not boring. But kind of some of the boring. But you develop players.
Yes.
You get people ready for the next level, not only on the court but off the court.
Right.
Why is that important to you?
Man, because the way I grew up, I had older brothers, and I couldn't take time off. I couldn't do my squats. I couldn't run my mile. I had to, because it made me stronger, made me a better player, and also give me a chance to give something back to the community. Man, I care about these kids. It ain't about me, it's about the kids. And you can ask any coach here. But, the biggest thing is, man, getting them ready for the real world. They're going to be men one day. They're going to have families and houses and bills and got to pay taxes.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to prepare them for it, man.
Yeah. How, what is your emphasis in the summertime with your workout?
Conditioning more than anything. We always used to say bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is this is the time that you can be selfish and worry about yourself and getting better.
Yeah.
But when we get back to the fall, that's more of a team concept.
Yeah.
See, right now you can be selfish without anybody saying anything about you. You can go run and do your push-ups, your crunches, and all that on your own. Yeah. Nobody got to be around. Yeah. But we're not taking all your time. We want just 2 hours of your time. It's basically 2 hours. But that's my biggest thing, conditioning and getting.
It's crazy to me because, I'm 40. How old are you?
I'm 54, man.
Okay, so you're 14 years old. We didn't have this when we were kids. If you had a coach that would open the gym for you, you were lucky. But now it's just like you have all of these resources at your disposal. What is the difference that you see in the generations?
I think they have a lot of distractions, where we didn't have a lot of distractions like that. You can sit up on your video game, talk to people all over the world, and you can buy things, and your parents give you debit cards and stuff like that. My parents didn't believe in that.
Yeah.
We had to go out and work for our own money or whatever, but the little money we did, I had to go to bills.
Yeah, that's true.
But I just felt like I'm a hard worker, man. I'm gonna outwork you. That's my thing, man. I'm gonna outwork you. My kids gonna outwork you, and we're gonna be in the gym every day.
Yeah.
Every day we're gonna be in the gym.
Day. Yeah. We connected back in our season at the showcase. And maybe I asked you this. I don't know if I did, but what would you like your legacy to be? as a you're more than a basketball player because now you're a coach, you're a teacher, you're a mentor, you're a leader of men. But what have you ever thought about it? What do you want
Man,
your legacy to be?
I've never really thought about it till now. Till you ask me the question, it's a great question.
Yeah,
But you know, man, when the kids graduate, they come back. I want them to know that I cared, man.
yeah,
You know, he was different. He wasn't just my basketball coach. He was my mentor.
yeah,
He was a father figure. That's why I'm always on time. I never miss. I try to talk to the kids with some respect. I don't talk down the kids. You know, and I just figured that's how you should be because it's the right thing to do.
yeah.
I never played for a guy that looks like me.
Wow,
I never played for a guy that looks like me.
wow,
You know, so that and I said once I become the head coach, I'm gonna bring something different to these
yeah,
kids, man. You know, we feed them every game, ninth grade, JV, and varsity. We feed them every game. We
yeah,
spend over $5,000 feeding them every year
yeah. On the season.
on the season.
Wow. That's important because I mean you really never know what kids got going on. You know, some people didn't eat breakfast this morning, they didn't eat dinner last night.
Yeah.
You know, you never really know, and it's important. You know, for these
You
kids
know,
to know that
and
they're
I don't mean to interrupt.
No, you good.
But when I was an assistant coach, man, I was assistant coach for 8 years here. You know, I was just sitting back watching the kids and, man, what can I do different to help these kids? Feed them.
Yeah. Wow.
Feed them.
Yeah.
Every game, so they don't have to be scrambling trying to figure out mom
When they get home. Yeah.
Because think about it, they're here from what 7:30 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
On
game
days.
Game days. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm expecting them to go eat McDonald's or
Yeah.
Sonic
Yeah.
and win a game.
Wow.
Man, we need to put some fuel in this.
No, for real. No, that's real. That's real talk. It is.
And nothing against Tom Inman, you know, I just looked at it differently because I'm looking at it through my lens.
Right.
You know, and I said, man, when I become the head coach, I'm gonna change a lot of stuff, but and also I'm gonna be fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
Because that's how I learned the game.
Yeah.
You know, and I was fundamentally sound.
Talk about the basketball in Dallas. I like asking all the coaches this because it's the same answer but from different perspectives. How good and how tough is it to play high school basketball in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro?
Oh man, super tough. Man, you got athletes and more athletes. But no, man, the biggest thing is it's a mental game. You know, a lot of these kids, they come off of tradition. You know, like the DISD schools, the Sox, the Kimballs, it's tradition. When you go to them schools, you got to play a certain way.
Right.
You got to win a certain way. If not, you'll fail you. You know, I feel like that's how it is in Lancaster Tigers. You know, you play hard, you play defense. We were known for guarding people.
Yeah.
You know, and I always wanted to be tough, man. Take charges. Don't complain. Don't make up excuses. And I just think the basketball has grown so much. It used to be the mecca of big men. You know, we've been through different phases of basketball. But just think about it, man. It hadn't been too long ago. We couldn't even travel outside of Dallas to play.
Right.
You know, I didn't travel outside of Dallas till my 11th grade year in high school. So how would people know about Larry Johnson and all these people if we never traveled outside of Dallas?
Yeah.
You know, that's the amazing part. That those dudes were even known throughout the country.
Right.
But never traveled outside of Dallas.
They never left the city.
So I was on the first team that went to Vegas, man. We had a lot of success.
Yeah.
And I never looked back after that. I never looked back.
Yeah. So here we are now, mentoring.
Yes. Because, you know, we was always known for football.
That is, I mean, we still known for football.
Still
I mean,
known.
as much basketball success we have, we're still more dominant in football.
We are.
Which is insane, actually. The
It
level
really
of talent that we have
Yes.
to still be known for football talent that's just crazy.
You know, and I don't think nothing is wrong with Dallas being known for football and basketball.
Yeah.
You know, and I think basketball is steady growing.
Yeah.
It's still growing. Football is steady growing.
With the changes in college basketball, where do you see high school basketball headed? Everybody wants to go to prep school. Everybody wants to leave. You have a lot of freshmen aren't playing. You know, JUCO has really become the new, first year of college, if not first 2 years. But where do you see high school basketball from your position? How have you seen it change in the past couple of years, and where do you see it going?
Yeah, it's evolving. You know, it's getting tougher and tougher on the kids. You know, if you're not 6'5", 6'6", it's even tougher.
Yeah.
You know, because why would I go get a kid that's 17, 18, then have to teach him, then he has to get used to the program, the hard working, but I can go to JUCO and get a guy that's already kind of ready.
Right.
You know, and I think that makes it harder, but the kids just got to wake up, man. You can't sit around and waste time.
Yeah.
And I always look at my watch and I tell the kids, hey, man, stop wasting time.
Yeah.
Man. You know, and I think one of the biggest things is the kids just got to understand, man, it's tough out here. It ain't gonna get easier.
Right.
So you just gotta conform to the game.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta change. You know, it's some things that I think that are in place that can help the kids. You go JUCO, you don't lose 2 years. When I was in school, you go JUCO, you only gonna have 2 to play D1.
Right.
But I think that helps the kids. They give you another outlet. But I think the prep schools, they can help us too with it. But I was a late bloomer, so that's why it's kind of hard for me to answer that question because they don't get that chance like I did no more. It's taken away. But I think the game just evolved, and the kids got to change with the game. And if they don't, they're gonna get left behind.
Man,
that's tough.
That's real though, and a lot of people aren't saying that. They're not telling kids you will be left behind.
You're gonna be left behind.
You will have 1 million mixtapes on social media and 1 million followers, and you will be sitting at the crib chilling. You'll be left behind.
It makes it harder for the kids. I know it's stressful, but I still think it's other ways. My mindset, even if I didn't get recruited like in 11th grade going into my senior year, I'll be thinking JUCO. I'm gonna go here and show these people. I'll prove it. I'll prove it, my worth to you that I can really play on that level. If I go there and play against guys older, but then that's another thing I just thought about. These kids don't play against older people.
They don't play. Absolutely not. They don't.
I grew up playing against grown men.
I was about to say I grew up in that level too. It's like, especially at the park, you want to play, you got to play against who's on the court.
That's right.
You either gonna stick or you gonna sit on the side.
And I tell my daughter this all the time. I said, you gonna stop before she shoot the ball and say, what grade are you in? What year are you graduating? It don't matter, baby.
That's what a lot of parents want to do, though. They want to do that. He's older. We grew, like you said, we grew up playing. I grew up definitely playing against grown men. And they would let you on the floor if you could play, but if you couldn't, don't have a seat.
Right.
And come back when you're ready.
But then when you're ready, you're ready to get out there.
You are, exactly.
And I think that makes you a bebetter player. That makes you a better competitor.
Absolutely.
But hey, just like even my brother tell me, hey man, you can't get out here and turn the ball over, miss shots, because ain't nobody gonna pick you. So I will watch the guys that rebound, the guys that set the screen before I select my team and go out on the court.
Well, man, I appreciate it. Thanks. Hey, you let me get a workout in this morning.
Hey, man. Anytime, brother. Anytime.
But this is cool.
And I take pride in being a gym rat.
Hey, I do too. I don't think that ever goes away. I don't think that level of work ethic. I mean, we talk about it being applied to life, right? Yeah. But I've learned that basketball is so deep in my blood. I don't think I get excited for the summer because I just want to go in the gym and play and work on my game and try to get better at 40 years old.
Right. Real talk.
Man, I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Charles Campbell, Hoop DFW, and this is Barron with Grand Prairie High School.
Peace. We're out.